Political rallies are a key fixture for President Trump's reelection strategy in the 2020 race, but his campaign is still on the hook for bills dating back to the 2016 election. So, what is the regulatory agency charged with enforcing campaign finance law doing about it? Nothing. That's according to an article from the Center for Public Integrity. With no quorum, the Federal Election Commission has its hands tied. And unless President Trump takes action, the FEC will not play its role as enforcer in the 2020 race. For more on this, let's bring in the author of that article and editor-at-large for the Center of Public Integrity, David Levinthal. David, thank you for joining us. Can you explain why the FEC is unable to do its job and enforce campaign finance law?
At a very basic level, the Federal Election Commission, which is charged with enforcing and regulating the nation's campaign finance laws, needs at least 4 commissioners to do that job. It's high-level business. And since September 1st of last year, it's only had 3 commissioners out of a possible 6 that it could have. So any complaint that comes before the Federal Election Commission, anything that somebody thinks a politician or a political committee is doing wrong and that the FEC should investigate, that's on ice right now. And in fact, there are more than 300 different cases that are on that ice and are not being dealt with by the FEC simply because they don't have enough commissioners to do the job.
That's incredible. So this also happened in 2008. And how would you respond to the argument that some are making, which is, well, if it happened in 2008, it's okay if it happens again in 2020?
Well, back in 2008, people weren't really happy about it either. And this is a very rare situation in the sense that the FEC, which was created in the aftermath of Watergate during the mid-'70s, has only had this sort of de facto partial shutdown 2 times, 2008, as you mentioned, and in the here and now in late 2019 and going into 2020. What's different this time around is that there seems to be no path forward here to getting nominees in. You mentioned that Donald Trump, he has a complaint against him pending before the FEC right now. That's one of several against Donald Trump himself, many against other Republicans and Democrats. But Donald Trump himself, singularly, as the president of the United States, has the power to nominate new FEC commissioners that the Senate, in turn, has to approve. Donald Trump simply has not nominated new commissioners to fill the 3 vacancies on the commission right now, and also, too, to replace the 3 remaining commissioners who, get this, collectively have served more than 30 years past the expiration of their 6-year term. So it's a bit of a mess over there right now, and I've contacted the White House on numerous occasions, and they have just basically said that, we're going to get around to it when we can, and that's just not something that has happened over the past many months.
Yes, and there's clearly no motivation, right? Okay, so if all of these unpaid bills from several cities where Donald Trump held rallies and used extra law enforcement was provided, how much do these bills amount to? And do these cities ever think they will get paid? Because we know that Donald Trump's campaign coffers are full. There's no reason he can't pay these bills, correct?
Donald Trump's campaign has been raising money like crazy. It's been an incredibly successful fundraising operation. And here, as we speak right now, it's 3 years to the day that Donald Trump not only got inaugurated, but also, too, filed paperwork with the FEC to begin raising money for his reelection. To the question of these police bills that you mentioned, the Center for Public Integrity, we published an investigation back in June that identified 10 different municipalities that had sent the Trump campaign bills, and the Trump campaign had not paid those bills. It amounted to about $841,000. Well, that number has now about doubled, with cities like Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Minneapolis, Minnesota adding to that total. There was a congressman in New Jersey, Bill Pascrell, who filed a complaint with the FEC saying basically that the Trump campaign at least needs to follow the law and acknowledge that these debts exist, even if it doesn't agree with the debt, which the Trump campaign does not, doesn't feel like it should have to pay these bills. But again, going back to the issue of the FEC not having enough commissioners to investigate this matter, the FEC can't do it. And it's theoretically possible that Donald Trump might not be president of the United States before the FEC actually has enough commissioners to go ahead and look into this matter or any other.
Amazing. All right. Well, David Levinthal, thank you so much for sharing your reporting on this with us.
Hey, thank you.